Good afternoon. I was supposed to be wearing my African regalia. I think I have it here. Can you check if I have maybe a hat or something? Could be here. And, to speak about Africa Day celebration, wearing a little bit of my original African regalia. We are celebrating the continent that has so far refused to die, Africa. The very first superpower of the world, recognized by God and used by God as such. Prophets of old, prophets of African origin, saw the enemy coming as birds flying in the air, descending upon you, Africa, to take even your sons and your daughters. Yes, God created Africa first and stood on top of the horn of Africa and then created the universe. The Garden of Eden, the capital of the world, is still here. Yes, Adam and Eve were removed, but the garden was not removed. Africa, my Africa, the cradle of humankind or mankind. Yes, they painted Jesus white, gave him a white mother, though they knew that Abraham was not a white man. Jacob, not a white man either. They wanted to own God. Africa, my Africa, many of your sons and daughters have been displaced, have been taken and displaced. They lost everything. They lost their identity, ownership, and rights. They were stripped of everything valuable but their souls. They, the Africans, bloomed even in slavery, the worst of which happened in England and the USA. Allow me to say this, that the wars and the slave trade is and was spiritual. Africa refused to die, and may the never dying spirit of Africa fill every African all over the world today. Even those that are broken, and those that are displaced, and those who don't even know where or your origin. You are lost in a foreign land. May the undying spirit of Africa fill you so that you rise up, walk, dream, and be, because you, African, are like a seed that is never destroyed, a certified seed that germinate and grow and bring forth fruits everywhere on the earth. Africa, termed dark Africa, dark continent. Yet, the whole world is here in the so-called dark continent. Dark for Africans, but glorious for the English, for the Americans, the Portuguese, the French, the Germans, the Indians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Pakistanis. They leave the comfort of their bright homes and countries and settle in the so-called dark Africa. Exploitation, for that matter, is also spiritual. Today, land, more than 72% of private land in South Africa is owned by whites from countries bright enough to brighten the whole world. Surprising. They came. They are still coming. They plundered and they are still plundering Africa. You refused to die. We celebrate you. We celebrate you for your steadfastness, resilience, and the ability to continue even when your legs are broken and your hands are chained. You have been made to think in Japanese, to think in English, to think in Portuguese, to think in French, to think in Germany, to think not in your own thoughts, but in the thoughts of the slave master. And yet you compete with all people from all over the world, even the children of your slave master, and you beat them hands down. You beat them in sport. You beat them in science. You beat them in mathematics until they buy you or condemn your brain. They took your minerals, O Africa, and decorated their own countries, their own parliaments, their own homes. They took your sons and daughters and gave them their strange names. Still, Africa, you refused to die. Africa, my Africa. I call you Africa, my Africa. Yes, Africa, my Africa, because some of our own so-called politicians, so-called traditional leaders, so-called academics and billionaires have been westernized. They sit on the African thrones, but serve the Western, European, Oriental masters, and thereby deprive you, O Africa, of servitude to your own. They have sold Africa as if Africa is their merchandise. They start wars amongst Africans for their own benefit. Africa, your help comes from above. You can see here and there. You can see in the west part of Africa, the eastern part of Africa, something is blooming. God has stretched his hand upon you, O Africa. Thou shalt not sit under the juniper tree and mourn your loss, but plan, bring things together, bring ideas together, bring peoples together, bring families together, bring Christians together, and together rise as a phoenix against the oppressors, the settlers, and the exploiters, and change your lives. Your help comes from above. Your academics, they have taken. Your sportsmen, they have stolen. You, Africa, still refuse to die. Leaders, African leaders, betraying Africa. I want to say to you, turn your weapons into plowshares. What shall it benefit an African leader? What shall it benefit an African academic? What shall it benefit an African religious leader to gain the whole world and lose Africa, your own continent? What shall it benefit you, sportsmen, to go out and compete against your brothers, get a trophy, and take it back to Belgium, and take it back to England, and take it back to America, take it back to France, take it back to Germany? Are you a German? Are you an American? They call you African American, but you are African. In Africa, I've never seen an American African. I've never seen a white man or a European or Caucasian saying, I am an English African. I am a Portuguese African. I am a German African. No, they're just Germans, Americans, and Europeans, and Caucasians in Africa. And they call you African American because they want to claim your achievements, your academic prowess. Those leading guerrilla warfare in the bush of Africa, speaking in French, whispering in Belgium, shouting in English against their own brothers. Turn your weapons into plowshares. Why stayest thou in the bush fighting against your African family for the benefit of the colonizer, the settler, the exploiter, the slave trader? He that has taken your blood and put it in a ship like sardines, move them away from Africa forever. Those waging religious wars in Africa, turn your religious weapons into plowshares. Why fight religious wars against your own flesh and blood? Are you religious? Should you arm yourself religiously, kill your brethren, burn your brethren, cut their throats, and call it a religious war? Africans who fled Africa in the name of war, poverty, dark continent, taking your light, back to the settler, to the colonizer, to the exploiter, to he that sold and bought your brethren yesterday. Come back home. Your time is now. And I want you to know that the poverty, Africa is not poor. And Africa is not a dark continent. That dark continent label put upon Africa is spiritual. Don't spill your brother's blood in the name of civil war. Armed and sent by the enemies of Africa. I'm speaking to you over there. Our enemy as a continent is he that plunders Africa, taking from Africa the best of Africa, our minerals, our peoples, our achievements, our dreams, by force, and leave Africa as if Africa didn't decorate their homes, their parliaments, their museums. Let the youth arise. You young people, young Africans, arise. Don't be like the elderly. Arise, these young people. Don't fight amongst yourself. Arise, these young people. Don't sow hatred among yourself in the name of boundaries and countries and states. Arise. Unite against the colonizer, the settler, the destroyer, the thief who have stolen the resources of Africa. Ye mothers, if I were to talk about you one by one and remind you of the battle of conception, the battle of pregnancy, the pain that goes with it, but you endured, even the labor pains. It's time to transfer that resiliency to Africa, to fight for Africa and deliver Africa. Shall I say this? Religious leaders, what are you fighting for? Men of God, we're not ordained and appointed to fight amongst ourselves. Are we not men of God, or are we men of our pockets and our denominations and our congregations and our churches? And are we leaders, church leaders, in the hands of the oppressor, the colonizer, the devil himself? Why hate your brother in the name of religion? Why you stop fellowship with your brother in the name of Pentecostalism, charismaticism, with the faith, Baptist, Orthodox, Catholicism? Are you a Catholic? Are you a Pentecostal? Or are you an African? You are an African before you become Pentecostal. Let's stop the religious war. As Christians, let me say, as religious people, I want to make Christians angry. They don't want to be called religious. As religious people, let us show the way. Come on. Let us show the way as Christians. Let's stop the war amongst ourselves. Why hate your brother? Love your enemies. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Is the Pentecostal your neighbor? Love him. Is the charismatic your neighbor? Love him. Is Miracle Valley your neighbor? Love him. Is the Catholics your neighbor? Love him. Is the Zionist your neighbor? Love them. Love your neighbor. And moreover, love your enemy. Your enemy as you love yourself. Love your enemy. In the battle of Shiklindi Kibekusanda, it's a pity that we could be having enemies amongst ourselves as Christians. Are we not the light of the world? Shall I say, are we not the light of Africa? Let us lead the way. Let us unite. Let's stop using the pulpit as a platform of wars amongst the religions and churches and denominations. What is wrong with the denomination? Nothing is wrong there, man. Why you hate a denomination? Hate denomination. Tell me what? Why you hate your brethren? Christians, arise. Let us lead by example. Hatred is spiritual. Slavery is spiritual. Poverty is spiritual. Gender-based violence is spiritual. Tell the nations, tell the heads of state, you cannot fight gender-based violence. You cannot fight crime with weapons, with the law, with even commissions. No, it's spiritual. It is spiritual. Spiritual against spiritual. Let's march and sing songs of freedom for Africa. Our steps on the road, our worship and praise in our churches. Let us bring freedom to Africa. Africa, my Africa. Let us bring healing and deliverance to the continent so powerful, recognized by God as a superpower, yesterday, today, and forever. Those of you who don't know, the first time God came to the world, he landed in the Garden of Eden in Africa. Glory to God. Glory to God. The first time God came in fire, he came via Ethiopia. He came via Egypt. That again is Africa. The only time God visited planet Earth via the east was the upper room, when he came in the form of fire. Let me prophesy. In these last days, expect God to come and visit planet Earth via Africa again, as he did when he visited the world via Egypt through Moses, who, when he came to Ethiopia, when he came to the Midians, you know what they said when they reported their father, Jethro? They said, an Egyptian helped us. They didn't say a Hebrew. So it was more African than Hebrew, because Hebrews, real Hebrews, are Africans. Let us sing songs of freedom, songs of deliverance. Clap hands for Africa. Africa, thou art the chosen of the Lord. It's time God put the fire that the world is looking for, the revival, the visitation of God to the world is coming via Africa. Arise, Africa. Arise, Africa. I say, Africa, arise. Unite, hold hands, move into the world with great power and resilience, knowing that Africa, 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 the powerhouse of God is rising up again. I love you all. I love you all. I thank you very much for watching. I'm going now to GCR. I will be there. Yes, I will be there. at GCR, advancing the sound doctrine of the tithe.